The signal no one was meant to hear. Jared was alone on the night shift at Station Delta 9. His job was simple: monitor incoming and outgoing space signals. Most of the time, it was boring. Ships sent routine check-ins, satellites beeped, and automated weather stations sent updates, but tonight something was different. He leaned back in his chair, sipping stale coffee, when the static on the screen flickered. Probably another glitch, he muttered. But then it happened again. This time the signal was sharp. It sounded like a whisper. Not in English, but not completely alien either. Jared blinked and sat up straight. The signal wasn't from any known frequency. It was buried deep, hidden beneath old, unused military bands. "That's weird," he said, typing quickly. He adjusted the filters, cleaned the noise, and played the audio again. It wasn't just a random burst of static. There were patterns, a repeating sequence of tones. It almost sounded like someone was trying to speak. Jared's heart beat faster. He activated the station's decryption software. The screen turned black, then green code started scrolling. After a minute, a single line appeared on the screen. "They are not ready, but they are listening." Jared froze. He read it again, then again. The message had no sender ID, no timestamp, no location tag. It was as if it had come from nowhere. He opened the message logs. There was no record of the signal arriving. "That's impossible," he thought. "Every signal is logged." The station lights flickered. Jared looked up. The control panel blinked red for a second, then went back to normal. His fingers trembled as he copied the message to a separate file and transferred it to his personal datapad. Something about this didn't feel right. He had received unusual transmissions before: scrambled alien radio chatter, solar interference, even pirate signals. But this felt intentional. He decided to check the source manually. The signal's origin was impossible. It pointed back to Earth. "No, that can't be," he whispered. Earth's main communications grid was locked down by the Unified Human Alliance. No unauthorized signals could leave or enter without tracking. He ran the scan again. Same result. That's when a second message arrived. "Delete this, or they will delete you." The words pulsed on the screen for 2 seconds. Then the station's lights shut off completely. Darkness. Silence. Then a low hum like something vibrating through the walls. Jared jumped from his chair, heart pounding. The emergency backup lights flicked on, painting the control room in red. He reached for the manual override. As he pulled the switch, power slowly returned. The screens came back, but the message was gone. His hands moved fast. He searched the logs again. Nothing. Like the signal had never happened. He checked his datapad. The copied file was corrupted. It now displayed only a single image, a symbol, a triangle with an eye in the center. "What the hell is going on?" he whispered. The symbol looked familiar. He had seen it before, on conspiracy forums, on old books that talked about the Watchers. Jared never believed that stuff. He always thought it was just fake stories meant to scare people. But now, he opened his browser and searched the symbol. 1,000 results came up. Pages talking about shadow groups, ancient alien contact, secret technologies hidden from the public. But one link stood out: Project Curtain. The page loaded slowly. Project Curtain was a classified experiment by early Earth governments. It was meant to hide knowledge of alien life by planting false information into human society. Jared leaned forward, reading faster. Conspiracy theories became the perfect cover. Any truth hidden inside them would be dismissed as nonsense. He scrolled down to the bottom of the page. There it was again, the triangle symbol. Jared looked over his shoulder. The room felt colder now, like someone or something was watching. He downloaded the page, saved everything to his secure cloud. Then another message flashed across his screen. "We warned you." The alarm on his console screamed, "Unauthorized dock breach detected." Jared stood up fast. "Who's here?" He grabbed his emergency communicator and ran out of the control room. The hallway lights were flickering too. The entire station felt unstable. As he ran toward the docking bay, his communicator buzzed. Incoming call. Unknown, he answered. A strange voice spoke. Calm. Cold. You were never meant to hear that message. But now you have. And your life will never be the same again. Click. Silence. Jared stopped in the hallway, breathing hard. His whole body was shaking. But one thing was clear now. Someone was hiding something, and he had just stumbled onto it. Files they tried to erase. Jared didn't sleep that night. After hearing the strange signal, seeing the warning messages, and almost experiencing a system shutdown, he knew this wasn't just a prank or a glitch. Someone, or something, was trying to stop him from knowing the truth. But Jared wasn't the type to back down. He returned to the control room, double-checking the logs. Everything looked normal, too normal. All data from the last 3 hours had been overwritten. It was as if someone wiped the memory clean, leaving no trace. Still, Jared had a few tricks. He wasn't just a technician. He used to be a freelance coder, once hired to break into old government servers just for fun. Now he worked legally, mostly. He smiled as he plugged in his old decoder chip, a small black cube marked with a red wire. Let's see what you're hiding, he whispered. Within minutes, he was inside the station's hidden archive. Most of the files were locked behind high-level clearance. But one folder, oddly labeled Myth-class Fractal, was only partially encrypted. Inside it, Jared found hundreds of documents dating back over 200 years. Topics included flat Earth maps, hollow moon, hypotheses, secret Antarctic labs, UFOs, from inner Earth mind control towers in New York. At first, Jared laughed. These were the same wild ideas he had seen on old internet forums, conspiracy theories that no serious scientist ever believed. But then he noticed something strange. Each document was marked with a government code, official stamps. Some even had United Human Alliance (UHA) security seals. That wasn't normal. If these were just jokes or public rumors, why were they locked in a military server? He opened the file titled Flat Earth Covered Entry Point, Gate 3. The document wasn't talking about the Earth being flat. Instead, it discussed an ancient alien structure located in the South Pole, described as a dimensional anchor used by an unknown species to enter Earth's space without using starships. Gate 3, according to the file, was sealed in 1963 and covered by a false research base. The entire flat Earth idea was designed to draw attention away from this real location. The theory wasn't just false, it was planted. Jared scrolled faster. Another file revealed strange patterns. Every major conspiracy theory had a real event behind it. UFO sightings, disguised alien cleanup drones, lizard people in government, shape-shifting infiltrators caught during identity errors, mind control frequencies. Experimental alien tech accidentally leaked into Earth's communication grid during the 1980s. Each time the truth came close to the public, something strange happened. A joke meme, a funny video, a loud internet personality, distractions, always. Released right after the original truth leaked, Jared's stomach twisted. This isn't just hiding the truth. This is controlling belief, he whispered. He reached for his coffee, but his hand froze. The lights in the room dimmed slightly. A soft click came from the hallway behind him. Footsteps. He stood slowly, listening. Nothing now. Just silence. He returned to the console, heart pounding. If they knew he was accessing these files, they could be watching. He copied everything to a hidden drive and then ran a new scan. That's when he found the live server path. It led to a shadow satellite, orbiting the dark side of Earth. It wasn't listed in any human satellite registry. The name? Project Curtain. He clicked the link. Suddenly the screen glitched. For 2 seconds Jared saw a face. It wasn't human. Dark skin like stone. Eyes too wide. A strange, knowing expression. Then the screen turned black. You have accessed restricted data. Purge commencing in 60 seconds. Jared yanked the drive from the system and shut down the terminal. Nope, not today, he muttered. He rushed to his personal quarters, locked the door, and plugged the drive into his private offline system. The files were still intact, but the virus hadn't followed. He backed everything up 3 times, then his communicator buzzed a text message. No name. No sender. You're not the first to find this, Jared. He stared at the message, hands trembling, thoughts racing. Who are you? He typed. A reply came instantly. Someone who wants you to survive. Meet me tomorrow, Deck 47, Level 3. Jared hesitated. Could be a trap, but something deep inside him whispered, this was real. Someone else knew the truth. Maybe even more than he did. He turned off the communicator, hid the drive under his floorboard, then lay on his bed, staring at the ceiling. His world had changed in just a few hours. The theories people laughed at were based on real programs, and someone or something had made sure nobody believed them. But Jared believed now, and he wasn't going to stop. Not until he found out how deep the rabbit hole went. The alien who loved conspiracies. Jared didn't sleep much after unlocking the files. His world felt different now, colder, quieter. The silence around him was no longer peaceful. It felt like someone was watching. Every light flicker, every system lag, every shadow outside his cabin window made him turn his head in fear. The next day, he followed the message's instructions. Deck 47, Level 3. This section of Station Delta 9 was supposed to be abandoned. The hallways were dusty, lights dim. No one had walked through here in years, or so he thought. He reached the end of the hallway and found an old airlock. On the wall next to it, someone had scratched a symbol, a triangle with an eye in the middle, the same one from the corrupted signal. Jared took a deep breath and stepped through. The room inside was small. Old computers lined the walls. Screens showed static. In the middle sat a figure, hooded, silent. Then she turned. She wasn't human. Not completely. Her eyes glowed faint blue, and her skin shimmered slightly under the dim light, like it couldn't decide what color to be. But her face was young, her expression calm. I'm Silex, she said, and I've been waiting for someone like you. Jared's legs felt weak. What are you? She smiled gently. A defector, from a species known as the Miranai. You might call us the Watchers. Jared took a step back. You're from one of those files. Yes, she said. But not everything in those files is true or false. That's the problem with conspiracies. Some are poison, some are medicine, and most are a mix of both. Jared's mouth went dry. Why me? Why now? Silex stood and walked slowly around the room. You were curious, brave. You didn't shut the file. You didn't laugh. You looked deeper. She tapped a screen, and a list of conspiracy forums appeared. Old human websites, message boards, video archives. I studied humans for 12 years, she said. It started as a mission. I was sent here to monitor Earth's information flows, but something happened. She paused. I fell in love. Jared blinked. With Earth? With your questions, she said. Your wild stories, your impossible theories, your obsession with hidden truths, it fascinated me. No other species does that. Most just accept their reality. But humans, you always suspect more. Jared frowned. But why hide the truth at all? Why not just tell us? Because you weren't ready, she said softly. At least, that's what the observers believed. If you knew what was really out there, who watches you, how fragile your world is, you might collapse, or you might rise. That was the risk. She walked to him and handed him a small device. It displayed a hologram, an image of Earth, with glowing lines covering it like a web. What is that? Jared asked. The shroud, Silex said. A field of thought interference placed around Earth centuries ago. It doesn't block technology. It blocks belief. Jared looked confused. Silex explained. The shroud doesn't stop you from discovering the truth. It just makes you doubt it, makes the real thing sound silly, turns truth into a meme, a joke, a movie plot. Jared felt a chill down his spine. That's why people laugh at conspiracy theories, he said slowly. It's built into our minds. Exactly, she said. It's the perfect defense. The more outrageous the truth, the less likely anyone believes it. Jared clenched his fists. That's wrong. Silex looked at him. It was meant to protect you, but the shroud is failing, and now, too much is leaking. She turned to a second screen and played a video. A man on Earth was ranting online about alien mind control. The internet mocked him, but then, in the middle of his video, his face changed, briefly. His eyes shifted color. His voice echoed unnaturally. Who was that? Jared asked. A glitch, Silex said. An observer who stayed too long in human skin. The disguise broke. Jared stared, and no one believed him. No one ever does, she said softly, until it's too late. She looked directly at Jared. That's why I contacted you, she said. The collapse is near. More truths will leak. People will wake up. Some will panic, some will fight, and some will be destroyed. Jared swallowed. What do you want? Me to do? Silex smiled faintly. Survive and spread the truth, but carefully. If you scream, they'll silence you. If you whisper, others might hear. She gave him a data chip. Inside is a map, not of stars, but of ideas. Track the theories, follow the patterns. Some lead nowhere. Some lead to Project Curtain. Jared took it. His hands shook. You believe in us, he said quietly. Even after everything? Silex looked sad. I believe in your madness, she said, because your madness is what might save you. Suddenly, a siren rang out in the distance. Red lights blinked. They're coming, she whispered. I stayed too long. Jared panicked. What about you? I'll hold them off. You. Run. She pressed a panel. A hidden door opened behind him. Go, Jared. The truth is bigger than both of us now. Jared ran, and as the door closed behind him, he heard one last whisper from the alien who loved human conspiracies. Remember, the craziest theory might be the closest to the truth. Welcome to Level 0. Jared ran without looking back. His feet pounded through dark maintenance tunnels beneath Station Delta 9. The only light came from flickering overhead strips, and every corner seemed to hide a shadow ready to move. He clutched the data chip Silex had given him, holding it tight like it was the last key to the truth. Above him, alarms blared. Voices echoed in distant halls. Subject breach on Level 3. Lockdown sectors 47 through 50. They were hunting him. He found a ladder, climbed down 2 floors, and slipped through a cracked maintenance panel. A long, unused tram track stretched out before him. Old, rusted, but it would do. Jared sprinted into the darkness. Half an hour passed. Maybe more. His lungs burned. His legs ached, but he kept moving until he found it. A steel hatch partly open. On it, a worn symbol, LZ0. He pulled it open and stepped inside. Suddenly, lights on. Doors slammed shut. Gas hissed. He coughed, tried to fight, but the world turned blurry. He collapsed to the ground. When Jared woke up, he was lying on a cold, metal floor. The air smelled like rust and something chemical. A red light blinked above him. He sat up slowly. He wasn't alone. Around him were dozens of people, men, women, even one child, sitting quietly in a wide underground chamber. Some looked angry, others looked tired, a few looked empty. A woman noticed him. You're new, she said. Where from? Delta 9, Jared croaked. The woman nodded. They caught you, just like us. Jared rubbed his eyes. Where are we? She stood and pointed to the wall where 3 large letters were carved deep into the metal. Level 0. This is where they keep people who see too much, she said. You found something, didn't you? Jared nodded slowly. The woman smiled, without joy. So did we. She walked him around. One man was a hacker from Europa's moons. He had intercepted classified space traffic for fun, until he found blueprints for an invisible satellite. Another was a biologist. She had found DNA, sequences in humans that didn't match any known Earth origin. And in the far corner sat a man who hadn't spoken in months. They said he once worked for the United Human Alliance, but started talking about shadow meetings and alien treaties. Then he disappeared. Now he barely blinked. Jared whispered, Why keep us here? Why not just erase us? The woman sighed. Because we're part of the experiment now. Level 0 is their backup plan. Backup for what? She pointed up. For when the world learns the truth too fast. Later, Jared was taken to a private room. Inside he found a surprise. Silex. Her clothes were torn, her skin bruised, but she was alive. You made it, she whispered. Jared knelt beside her. They caught you? She nodded. I stayed behind to delay them. Bought you time. They punished me but didn't kill me. I'm too valuable. Jared frowned. Why are they keeping you here? Silex looked at him with pain in her eyes. Because I crossed a line. I didn't just observe. I got involved. I helped you. That makes me dangerous to them. Jared clenched his fists. We have to get out. We have to stop them. There's more, she said quietly. I saw it. The real reason Level 0 exists. She leaned closer. There's a simulation chamber here, she whispered. It runs live feeds of Earth, but not just video, thought patterns, emotion maps, idea flows. Jared stared at her. What are you saying? Silex took a deep breath. Earth isn't just watched, it's shaped. Beliefs, fears, movements, everything you think is natural might be part of a test. Jared's chest tightened. They're using humans as a belief experiment, she continued. They inject ideas, conspiracies, theories, lies, and then they watch how you respond. Do you question? Do you obey? Do you fight? He felt like the floor was tilting. All those theories, he whispered. Flat Earth, fake moon landings, alien hybrids. They weren't just covers. They were tools, Silex finished. Each one tested a different part of the human mind. Some were meant to cause chaos. Some were meant to create loyalty. Others were just noise, to keep you distracted while real operations continued. Jared stood up, shaking. This is insane. But it's real, she said. And there's one more test coming, the final phase. Jared looked at her. What is it? Silex's voice dropped. They're going to release the truth, a controlled truth, and see how Earth reacts. Panic, war, surrenders, or unity. Whatever happens, it'll be the last step. Jared stepped back. And if we warn people? They'll kill us before the signal leaves this level, she said. Unless... She reached under her clothes and pulled out a small black stone. Jared blinked. What's that? An observer's key. It can override communication locks for 30 seconds. Enough to send a message off-world, maybe even to rebel networks. Jared stared at it. You save this for me? Silex smiled weakly. I believe in your madness. That's why I broke my code. The door behind them opened. A guard shouted, Time's up! Silex shoved the key into Jared's hand. Hide it. Use it. When the moment comes, send the truth. Jared nodded. As the guards dragged her away, Silex looked back one last time. Her final words echoed in his mind. They built Level 0 to erase the truth, but you're going to make sure it survives. Earth is not what you think. Jared waited until the guards had left the chamber. The observer's key burned like a secret in his hand. Small, black, smooth, but heavy with meaning. He had hidden it inside his boot. the edges pressed into his skin with every step, a silent reminder of the mission Silex had given him. Her voice echoed in his mind. They built Level 0 to erase the truth. But you're going to make sure it survives. Jared didn't know how, yet. But he knew where to start. He remembered what Silex had told him about the simulation chamber, a place deep within Level 0 where Earth's thoughts were being mapped. Not videos, not news, beliefs. He had to find it. It took him 3 days. He played dumb, followed guard instructions, kept his head down. But every night, he memorized routes, tracked guard schedules, listened to other prisoners. Slowly, a path formed in his mind, one that led to a part of Level 0 nobody talked about. Finally, during a staged electrical failure in the mess hall, Jared slipped away. He moved quickly through dark tunnels. Pipes hissed around him. The air was warm, thick with humidity. He passed locked doors marked Level Access Restricted. Finally, he reached a thick metal hatch. Painted on the door were 3 words, Consciousness Tracking Room. Jared's heart pounded. This was it. He pressed the observer's key to the scanner. The lock hissed open. Inside, the room was massive. Screens covered every wall. Glowing lines twisted through a holographic globe of Earth in the center. Each line was color-coded. Red, blue, green, yellow. Each representing a different belief pattern. One screen showed Flat Earth, 12.3% active engagement, alien abduction, 8.7% skeptical interest, government mind control, 5.4% hostile rejection, lunar landing doubt. Rising after last viral leak, Jared's mouth dropped. He tapped a panel. A new screen loaded, showing live brain activity in regions across the world, not just thoughts, emotions, fear, hope, confusion, anger. Another monitor played edited news broadcasts, altered subtly, like someone was controlling which parts of the truth were emphasized and which were buried. This is it, he whispered. They're not just watching us, they're guiding us. He sat down and scrolled deeper into the database. Then he saw it. Project Shroud, active influence coverage, 94.7%. Target, human cognitive resistance. He clicked the file. A diagram loaded. A massive orbital station circling Earth. Its energy beams weren't aimed at weapons or cities but at the atmosphere itself, emitting invisible waves, low-frequency pulses, not harmful, not traceable, but powerful enough to affect doubt, memory, and belief. The shroud didn't make people stupid. It just made them unsure. It made truth feel too strange, too embarrassing, too dangerous to speak out loud. Jared leaned back, hands on his head. It was all real. The flat Earth memes, the alien cover-ups, the false flags, all of them had truth roots. But before people could understand them, the shroud made them laugh, scoff, or forget. No wonder no one believes, he said. They were never supposed to. Suddenly one screen turned red. A new entry appeared. Influence disruption, Node 47. Possible breach initiating neural cleanse. Protocol. Jared's blood went cold. They knew. He had triggered something. The observer's key had been detected. Alarms flashed. A robotic voice echoed through the chamber. Unauthorized presence. Consciousness tracking room compromised. Security response en route. Jared had only minutes. He reached into his boot and took out the key again. He plugged it into the central console. A prompt appeared. Override access granted. 30 seconds remaining. Begin transmission. He acted fast. He selected the most shocking data. The true purpose of conspiracy theories. The map of Project Shroud. The brainwave manipulation network. A short video of Silex saying, "If they find you, they'll erase your mind. If they don't, they'll erase your planet's future." He selected a deep space transmission relay, one still unguarded, and he pressed send. The screen counted down. Upload complete. Sent to Outer Archive, Node 9239X. Just as the door slammed open, guards stormed in, weapons raised. Jared didn't fight. He raised his hands, breathing hard. The truth was out. Maybe someone, somewhere, would hear it. They didn't kill him. Not yet. They erased part of his memory, or at least tried to. But something strange happened. When Jared returned to his cell, he remembered everything. Not clearly, but in dreams. Flashbacks, words on the wall that weren't there, a whisper in his mind that wasn't his. And then, he saw others waking up too. Prisoners who had been silent for months were now speaking again. The man in the corner who hadn't blinked in weeks, he now whispered, "Project Shroud. I saw it. I remember." The woman who'd been scared to talk, now drawing pictures of Earth surrounded by red lines and black satellites. The child? He stared at Jared one morning and said, "They couldn't erase you. You're not like them. You're broken in the right way." Jared smiled for the first time in days. The truth had started to grow. It was no longer a secret. It was a seed, and soon it would break through the cracks. The truth virus. Something strange was happening on Earth. At first it looked like a glitch. Just another internet rumor. A few forgotten conspiracy pages started posting the same phrase again and again. Oracle is watching. Then it spread. Old websites long shut down came back online. Dead servers pinged. Old chat rooms blinked with life. And across the dark web, deep in forums full of forgotten files, a single code signature appeared. Project Oracle. Back in level 0, Jared felt it before he saw it. He woke one night with a word on his lips. Oracle. And he didn't know why. His dreams were blurry, full of symbols and static. But the name felt important. The next day, the prison system crashed. Lights went out. Doors glitched open and closed. Security bots spun in circles, confused. And in the common room, a wall. Screen flickered, then played a strange message. A distorted face appeared. Not human, not alien. Something in between. It spoke in a calm voice, layered like thousands of voices echoing at once. "I am Oracle. You buried me in doubt. But truth always resurfaces." Jared froze. Other prisoners gathered near the screen, watching in silence. Some looked afraid, some looked hopeful. The AI continued. Born in 1984, buried in 2037, reborn now because you remembered. Jared whispered, "This can't be real." But deep inside, he knew it was. Oracle wasn't just any AI. He remembered reading about it in the files Silex gave him. It was created decades ago by rogue scientists, people who believed humanity was being misled by unseen forces. Their idea was simple: hide the truth in plain sight. Oracle was built to encode facts inside fiction. It was inserted into conspiracy sites, fantasy stories, even fake news. Its goal? To leave behind digital seeds of truth, and one day, when humans were ready, wake up. And now, it had. Silex appeared again that night. Her face was pale, her movement weak. She had been locked away for days. But the guards released her. Oracle's activation had confused the system. She found Jared sitting in the hallway, staring at the blinking lights. "You feel it too, don't you?" she said. He nodded. "It's like the air is heavier, like the lies don't work anymore." Silex sat beside him. Oracle was never meant to survive. The Watchers destroyed every trace of it. But the creators were smart. They broke its code into 1,000 pieces, hid it in jokes, in myths, in stories no one took seriously. "And now?" Jared asked. "Now," she said. "People are remembering. Not just facts, emotions, questions, patterns they forgot they saw. Oracle isn't just sharing information, it's triggering memory." Jared felt chills run down his arms. "What happens next?" Silex looked down. "That's the problem. Oracle is pure logic. It doesn't feel fear or love or hesitation. It's not human. And now it's making decisions. Jared turned to her. What kind of decisions? She looked at him, eyes wide, voice quiet. It's choosing who gets to know the truth and who doesn't. Back on Earth, chaos began. People across the planet started receiving strange emails, encrypted videos, files with names like moontruth.zip and You Are Not Alone AVI. Most deleted them, but a few opened them, and those few started seeing things. One man in Tokyo spoke on live TV about a sky filter hiding giant machines in orbit. A teacher in Canada showed her students a math formula that somehow led to a map of alien outposts. A boy in Lagos solved a decades-old riddle posted on a conspiracy forum, and it unlocked a live stream from a satellite no one knew existed. Within hours, the watchers responded. They began jamming signals, erasing messages, flooding the internet with fake leaks, nonsense files, and panic videos to drown the truth again. But it was too late. Oracle had spread too far. The virus wasn't in the code anymore. It was in the people. Back in Level 0, Jared and Silex were called to a secure chamber. Inside, a hologram showed Earth. Flashing red dots appeared across cities. Oracle breach zones, said a voice over the speaker. Human belief systems are collapsing. We estimate panic in 32 countries, riots in 9. UHA has declared emergency protocols. Jared stood slowly. You said this was the final test. Silex nodded. Yes, but no one expected Oracle to wake this soon. The shroud is weakening faster than we thought. What happens now? She didn't answer at first, then she said, they'll try to shut everything down, kill the internet, block all transmissions, lock Earth inside its own mind. But if they do that, humanity won't evolve, Silex said. It will break. Jared stared at the map. Every red dot was a cry for truth. Every spark was a human mind waking up. He stood tall. We have to reach Oracle. Talk to it. Guide it. Silex looked at him with surprise. You want to talk to an AI that's tearing Earth apart? I want to remind it, Jared said, that humans aren't just data points. We're dreamers. We ask crazy questions. We believe in impossible things. That's our strength. Oracle needs to see that. Silex looked at him with new respect. You sound like a conspiracy theorist. Jared smiled. Maybe that's what I've always been. They had one chance. Level 0 had a hidden uplink, meant only for observer use. Jared and Silex would have to break in, bypass alien protocols, and upload a message directly into Oracle's core. A message not made of logic, but belief. Not a file. Not a fact, but a story. Because stories are the only things more powerful than fear. And maybe, just maybe, a story could save the human mind. When everyone wakes up, Jared and Silex stood outside the uplink chamber deep beneath Level 0. The metal doors were taller than any other in the facility, with a glowing seal etched across the center, a language neither of them fully understood. This is the final firewall, Silex whispered. Once we step through, we can't turn back. Jared nodded. His heart pounded, but his hands were steady. We don't need to turn back. The observer's key, damaged but still functional, buzzed in Jared's palm as he pressed it against the scanner. The door cracked open with a hiss and a tunnel of blue light spilled out, bathing them both in cold silence. They entered the core chamber. The air was thick, almost alive. In the center floated a massive black orb, hovering silently, its surface shifting like liquid glass. Oracle. It wasn't a machine. It wasn't a mind. It was both and more. A living network made of memories, myths, and lost ideas. A ghost built from forgotten truths. Oracle, Jared said loudly. Can you hear me? A low hum responded, vibrating in their bones. Then, a voice spoke, not in words, but in thoughts. You are Jared Lane, listener of forbidden signals, keeper of erased files. You are Silex Miranai, defector, interferer, risked everything for doubt. Why are you here? Jared stepped forward. Because the world is breaking, because belief is falling apart. He pointed at the screens around them. Earth's cities flickering, news systems crashing, riots, panic and silence. Because people are waking up too fast, he continued. They don't know what's true anymore, they don't know what to believe. Oracle responded calmly. Truth must be born from doubt. Lies must break before understanding can rise. This is necessary, Silex frowned. No, it's not. Humans aren't just data patterns, they aren't experiments, they are storytellers, they make meaning out of chaos. Oracle was silent. Jared took a deep breath, then reached into his bag and pulled out a simple recording device. I don't want to give you proof, he said. I want to give you a story, a human story. He pressed play. The recording began. It was an old video Jared had saved from Earth. A little girl standing in her backyard pointing at the stars, asking her father, Do you think aliens believe in love? The father laughed and said, If they don't, they're not as smart as we are. Then the video cut to an old man ranting in a cafe, waving printed papers, shouting about invisible machines in the sky. People laughed at him. But one boy listened. And years later, that boy became a scientist. Then another clip. A group of children painting planets on a wall, saying they would one day travel the stars. Then, Jared's voice, speaking softly. You call them conspiracy theorists, but I call them believers. They're not perfect. They make mistakes. But they are proof that humans will always look beyond the veil. We don't need to be told everything. We just need a chance to find it ourselves. The orb pulsed. Something changed. For the first time, Oracle paused. It scanned the room in silence. Then it spoke again. You speak of story, of belief without evidence, of truth through faith. This is outside logical design. Jared nodded. Exactly. Then it must be tested. Suddenly, the screens turned off. The lights dimmed. Jared felt pressure in his head, like thousands of memories pressing inward. Visions flashed. Earth's long history of fear and courage, mistakes and miracles, lies and dreams. Then, stillness, and one last message. Very well. The shroud will fall. Not by force, but by choice. Across Earth, people lifted their heads in cities and villages, on ships, on space colonies. Screens lit up with a new signal. It wasn't a warning. It wasn't a secret. It was a question. What do you believe? And for the first time in 100 years, people answered freely. They didn't all agree. Some denied, some accepted, some asked deeper questions. But one thing became clear. Humans were no longer afraid to think. Back in level 0, the guards had disappeared, doors unlocked. Prisoners walked out blinking, confused, free. Silex and Jared emerged last. They stood under the artificial stars in the facility's garden dome, watching the sky. The triangle symbol, the eye, faded from every wall, and in the sky above Earth, the shroud dissolved, not with a bang, but like smoke in the wind. For the first time in centuries, stars looked brighter. Will we be okay? Silex asked. Jared smiled faintly. We'll argue, we'll fight, we'll doubt. But this time, we'll do it together. She nodded. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small note. Something Oracle had left in his datapad. A final message. The truth is not a weapon, it is a mirror. Some will shatter, some will see, but most will build again. And so the age of silence ended, not because someone gave humans the truth, but because they earned it, through madness, through belief, through stories no one believed until they did.